put yourself first and let your business service you rather than have it the other way around.
So Adam, can you just briefly introduce yourself and type of business you run, your trade, and where you're based?
Yep. So I'm Adam from Napier Electric Company. We're based in Hawke's Bay, New Zealand, and we are domestic and commercial electricians. I currently have a team of 11, which includes myself.
Yep, 100%. Good stuff, man. So can you tell us what was life like before you joined the $1 Million Tradie program and what you were looking to improve with your business?
Yep. So it was just myself, a freshly qualified tradesman and an apprentice,
Wow.
and it was super stressful. Yeah, I was doing 9 or 10 hour days on the tools. Then I'd go home, sort the kids, get them to bed. Then I'd stay up till late doing paperwork and scheduling. And I worked most Saturdays, and there was often spillover to Sundays. Profit was non-existent. I was pretty good with numbers from the start, but I remember staring at my zero profit and loss statements just in disbelief. Like, how am I not making money? I'm working around the clock. I just couldn't get how it wasn't working. And I'd read a few good books on systems and growth and stuff, and was sure there was a better way. I just didn't know what to start on. And when I saw Profitable Tradie advertised, I started downloading the free tools, like back costing sheets and profit calculators and that kind of stuff. And it all started to make sense to me. I had goals. I just didn't know where I wanted to. I knew where I wanted to go. I just didn't know where to start. I just needed the roadmap.
Yeah, 100%.
I found that with you guys.
Yeah, awesome, man. So what I'd love to talk about, Adam, is what are the biggest changes that you've made over the last period of time? Let's just dig down into that, because I know you've done a lot.
Yeah. So probably the first biggest changes I made were setting up a commercial space, just moving out of the home. Just setting that clear demarc point between home and work. That was a good start. It's also opened us up to get an office manager. I resisted that for quite a long time, and I remember even getting on the personal call with you, Tony, snapping me out of it basically. And I just kept thinking I just couldn't possibly afford this overhead. But when I took the plunge, it was just amazing how much more productive you can be when you're not trying to wear all the hats,
Yeah, 100%.
And just in the first week, she paid for herself. She found 10 grand I'd overpaid in taxes. I'd paid a bill twice and I didn't even know it. So,
mate, that's killer.
So that was a good bonus. So from there, that hire freed me up so much just to work on the business more. And since then, we've made a ton of changes. But probably the biggest ones were things like an inquiry script and a pre-job info sheet for customers, just to kind of filter them out so we pick the ones that are suitable to us. Introduced KPIs for the staff, job quality assurance checklists, GPS vehicle tracking, and just regular staff catch-ups. That's just allowed us to bring in that accountability for the guys. We got takeoff software and made pre-builds around those, so it made our quoting super easy. We upgraded our job management system just recently, and that gave us sort of up-to-the-minute reporting. It's been really, really good. And now we also follow a strict set hiring process for our staff, so we get the very best guys.
Yeah, killer. So you've done lots of stuff, man, which is great, and it really tweaked my interest when you talked about that hiring of the office manager, because I think that's a big challenge for most of us, right? Isn't it? It's like, hey, I can't afford to. How's this going to work? So
there's almost a leap of faith. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. You almost do need someone to push you into it, because you can't understand how good it is until you kind of do it.
Yeah. When you drill down and just work out exactly what they can do, you'll find they can do quite a bit. Yeah. I initially thought I would be getting on a part-timer, but we got a full-time, and then she spent so long just cleaning up all my mess. It kind of just settled herself into full-time and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, and a lot of people do want to go the part-time way, and we're often like, no, go full-time. Like, trust me, you'll find stuff for them to do. Yeah. So that's epic. So what I'd love to do, Adam, is I know you've been really busy with what you've implemented, and you are an action taker, which I think is awesome. What have been the results of the changes that you've made, for you, for the business, and for for life and family in general?
Yeah. So we went from the initial 2 staff to 10 now, 10 staff, so 10 plus me. That was all across the pandemic. So yeah, and we also started an earthworks division, diggers and trenching and stuff. I brought on an operations manager and a pricing assistant, and that's really freed me up to work on the things that I want to work on in the business, rather than just being reactionary and just putting out fires all day. So on a personal side, I'm completely off the alcohol, and my wife has noticed that I'm much more relaxed and happy around here and the kids after work. So that's been key. I have afternoons off 4 days a week, train at the gym. But probably what I'm most proud of is the culture that we've built in the business. We've got really great guys that do awesome work. We've built a culture around quality workmanship and being approachable, and everyone just works well together, and we all look out for each other like a family. It's really heartwarming. It's good. Yeah,
man, you've done a great job. I'd love to just talk about a little bit about the challenges. You mentioned there about getting off the sauce and the sort of the stress and stuff. So I correct me if I'm wrong, the stress of the business, the constant kind of grinding of it, can wear you down, and sometimes you need a bit of a release. And I guess a lot of us find that having a couple of drinks at night or some other means. So what I guess, how have you managed to turn that around and get yourself in a better place mentally and emotionally?
Yep. I read a book by Dave Goggins, and he mentions the accountability mirror. Yeah. So if you can look at yourself in the mirror and be happy, then you're doing all right. So it was something I was thinking about doing for a while, just cutting back the drink. And I look in the mirror and I think, why don't you stop drinking it? And so I just found this challenge to take a year off. So I took it up, and I found I could look at myself in the mirror and think, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And now it's not like I'm trying to avoid drinking. Now it's more, if I do it, then I'm letting myself down, and I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the mirror again. So that's the payoff for me, and it's kept me off it.
Yeah. And it's not like you had a major problem as such.
No, not at all.
But it's like taking the edge off and just really dulling you. So how do you notice how you turn up now? How's that different for you?
Yeah. Well, if you've had a bad day, you go have a few beers at home, and you're not really teaching yourself to cope with the stress. You're just deferring it. And so the first month was definitely tough. You're sort of relearning how to deal with all the stress 100%. Again. Yeah. That's what I found. So just getting over that hurdle. I had much better sleeps, much better mindset. Home life is much better, like I said. You can actually really engage with the kids at home, not just wanting to get into the bed ASAP.
Yeah. I think we've all been there, mate.
Yeah. And just being able to turn up with a much clearer head in the morning. You can plan easier. Anything crops up, you can just manage it easier. You're just much more level-headed. Yeah.
Hats off to you, man. I know you've had some darkish times and stuff. And I think one of the awesome things that I really appreciate about you is that you're prepared to be vulnerable. I reckon that's a lesson to all of us in business, because we all have challenges. And part of what we do in our community, I think, which is a big part of this, is we can share that and learn from other people who are having the same challenges, which is massive. We're not alone. I think is a big thing I've learned anyway.
It's a great community.
Yeah. So, mate, you've grown your business massively. So what sort of revenue were you doing when you kicked off, and approximately what are you hitting now, sort of in revenue on a monthly basis?
Yep. So we're doing probably only doing about 20k, 30k a month. And now we're at our upper levels for 120, 130, and with goals to do much more. At the moment, we're sort of in a bit of a transitionary period with taking on ops and pricing. So suppress the overheads a little bit, but we're certainly on track to do much more.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well done. So let's talk about mindset. We've touched on that quite a bit. What are some of the mindset shifts you've had to make through this process?
Yep. So from the start, I've always been quite a driven person. And previously in business, though, that meant that I just throw myself more and more into it, just do huge hours and then do more. Even though it feels like that in the moment, I've learned it's not the most productive way to work, and you're just setting yourself up to do it again and again. So I've learned to be much more deliberate with my time and concentrate only on the things that will actually improve the business rather than just chasing my tail around all day.
Yeah, that's huge.
And I've also learned as the head of your business, if you're not right inside, then that's what reflects outside.
So much.
So you've got to take time out to look after yourself and look after your family. And when you can come to work with that clear head, you're much more resilient. Yeah,
that's such a big lesson. I mean, a fish rots from the head. So as the leader, if you're struggling, it's hard work for everyone, right?
Yeah, that's right. Right.
And there's
another thing I wanted to say was that, there's a kind of unspoken rule for small business owners that you have to do everything yourself, and that you don't need help. I think this is particularly true with men, and it certainly I had that mentality coming in. And I'd be on the tools. I'd do all the book work. I was doing the marketing, design a website for myself. I was servicing and fitting out the vehicles. Just the list just went on. I was just doing everything, and I was able to finally let that go. And you realise you just can't grow without help and without good people around you. Yeah.
That's a massive learning, but it's a hard one, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, mate. What I'd love to know is, look, if you had some advice for someone who was stuck with their plumbing or electrical or a similar service business, what would your advice be for them to get unstuck so they can work on improving their business?
Yeah. Get help. All these super successful business people around that you read and hear about, they're just normal people like you and I. They just have better tools and good people around them. Just reach out to coaches like yourself, like Profitable Tradie. Get those tools, but work on yourself too. Read lots, exercise, eat healthy. Go see a counsellor if you need it. Reconnect with lost family members. Put yourself first and let your business service you rather than have it the other way around.
That's a mic drop. Yeah, let the business serve you. How many of us are the master in that relation, are the servant in that relationship? 100%. Mate, that's awesome. I really appreciate your time, Adam. And just can't wait to see what you're going to achieve in the future, mate.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for your help, Tony.
No worries at all.
Hey, I hope you liked the video. Check out all the other videos in the channel and like and subscribe.